As you've seen in previous lessons, FileMaker's find capabilities allow you to efficiently split a dataset up into two parts, the found set and the omitted set, with the found set containing records that match the find criteria. So when you perform a find, you effectively slice the data to get a view of a particular subset. That takes you a significant step forwards towards the objective of grouping and summarising your data, but it's only part of the story. If you want to slice and dice the data to the extent that finding gives you a slice, you then need to use sorting to dice the found set into appropriately bite-sized pieces. Or more to the point, once you've found some records that are of interest, you'll want to order them or group them in a way that makes sense. That's where sorting comes in. It allows you to temporarily reorder the records in a variety of ways. And when you do, they can be grouped and the groups can be labelled or summarised to get an instant breakdown of your find results. Let's look at a simple example. Here on the Publications layout, viewing a list of publications with 16 records in the table, if I go into Find mode and put in criteria, say in the year field, for greater than or equal to 2000, to find publications that have been issued in the current century. I'll perform the find, and we have 5 results. Now, immediately to the right of the Find button, as you can see, we have the Sort button, which allows me to choose an order to present the find results. So in this case, I'll simply choose the Publication Title field, move it across into the sort order, accept the ascending sort, click the Sort button, and now we have 5 records found and sorted. So the records are now in ascending alphabetical order by publication title. Now let's look at what it would take to really break a set of records out into groups and summarise them. In an earlier lesson, I showed you how to use the New Layout Report dialog to generate a publication summary. For this example, I'd like to use the existing Authors Listing layout in the work file and show you how to make it form the data into grouped and summarised subsets. The first thing I'm going to do before making any changes to the layout is to go into the data structure and add a summary field to the table. At this point, I simply want a summary field to provide a count of the records on display. I'll prefix the field name with a lowercase s and then simply call the field author count. I'll choose the field type of summary. And when I click Create, I'm presented with a number of options. In this case, I simply want a count of the values in a field that will always have a value, such as the serial number field. Now I'm done here, and I can go back to the layout to make use of this new summary field I've added. Now I'm going to go into layout mode, so I'll click on Edit Layout, and I'll add a couple of layout parts to the current layout. First of all, just below the body part, I'll add a sub-summary when sorted by, and I'm going to choose a related field from the Publishers table. In this case, the Publisher Name field. I'll make the sub-summary a little larger by dragging its label downwards. And now I'll increase the height of the body part slightly, select the contents of the body part, and drag them down towards the bottom. And now I'll drag in another sub-summary part to sit above the body part. Again, this will be a sub-summary when sorted by publisher's publisher name. And I'll increase the size of the part. I'll add a field to provide a label. And the label should relate to the sub-summary part. So in this case, I'll need the publisher name field from the publishers table. We don't need a label for the field, and we don't need the field to have any fill. So using the inspector, I'll remove styles from the field, and I'll apply a font color. In this case, white. Just repositioning and resizing the field a little. And now, in the trailing sub-summary, I'll add the summary field. The summary field was in the current table, the authors table, and there it is, S author count. On the layout, we can take off the leading S and add a space in there so that it's natural English as a label for the user to see. Now I'll return to browse mode so you can see how this works. As you can see, things look pretty much the same as they did before I started. But look what happens when I sort the found set. In this case, I'll sort by the publisher's publisher name field. And you'll notice that, of course, just as I could add the publisher name field to the layout, we can also choose the publisher name field as the basis of a sort. As soon as I do, the data is broken up into groups with a heading showing the publisher name and a count of authors for that publisher. So now we've effectively diced the data, sliced it horizontally so that it's broken up into groups, representing in this case authors by publisher. Now, if I go into find mode and perform a find, say for authors with a last name starting with a character preceding J in the alphabet, we now have a subset of 6 of the 15 authors in the table. And I can sort the subset to produce a summary. So now the data has been sliced according to author last name and diced according to publisher name, with the summary value, the author count, appearing within each group. This is a process in FileMaker that's called sub-summarizing, and it enables you to provide quite detailed reports of data selected by any criterion you can use in a find.